Hi, my name's Nancy, and I can teach math, biology, and chemistry. I think the role of tutoring is just to help someone conceptualize their thoughts. So they've learned something at school, but they haven't had enough time with the teacher to ask them questions to be like, so if A happened, would B happen? So I think just one on one time with someone else just to get their thoughts wrapped up. And they also gain that confidence so that they can go back to class and be like, yes, I understand this. And I can also apply this knowledge, and if you change some of the variables, I can also follow along. Fit between a tutor and a student is really important. So here's my analogy, which I say to all students. I'm like, you would never buy a car without trying it out. So you will never buy a car without trying to drive it around the street. So I do think the same thing goes for a teacher and a tutor with a student. And then also you'll feel a little more confident that you can ask them questions. You're not worried if you're going to ask a stupid question. Because again, like we all say, no question is stupid. And if you're able to create a relationship with the student, you can phrase a question in maybe one of their interests. So like I love plants. So I think if someone explained to me maybe a math problem to be like, oh, X and Y, and I'm like, oh, okay. So if I know a little bit more about you, like you really like hockey, I could maybe explain something in hockey terms that maybe just you can't understand or it's not clicking because you're not interested in it. But if I can make it interesting, you might enjoy that learning. I did grow up in a South Asian household. My parents were really strict. Got to bring home good grades. I completely, now as an adult, understand why. They traveled from a different country for us to succeed and they want the best for us. But yes, they do push a little too hard sometimes. And so I think just having open communication and really telling them to be like, hey, I don't think this is of interest for me. I would like to find a career where I will be thriving in. And maybe they won't understand in the beginning, but I just think having that open communication with them will help them also understand because coming from a South Asian background, like lawyer, doctor, engineer might be the only professions that they are still just aware of. So I think it's also just opening up their minds to other jobs. Like there are millions of jobs available out there. And I also do think exposing them to other jobs and careers. So if you have a friend whose parent does something that you think is really interesting, have the parents have a conversation because then they'll just also gain a little bit more knowledge and be like, oh, okay, I can see what you like and I can see where that career is going. Because they're just always worried that we won't have a career.